right, let's take a look at these 3 sentences. Megan is walking to the store. I should talk to Anaya about the project. You could have been resting before the party. These are all statements using the auxiliary verbs that I showed you on the slides as examples. Now, we're going to use inversion to form these statements into yes/no questions. And so inversion is simply taking the auxiliary and switching it with the subject. So Megan is walking turns into is Megan walking. Now it's a yes/no question. And all we needed to do is put the subject where that auxiliary was, and the auxiliary is where the subject was. Now, I didn't do anything with the ing, and I certainly didn't do anything with the head verb. It's just the first auxiliary that's going to be inverted when we do subject operator inversion with auxiliary verbs. Okay, so let's see the next one. I should talk to Anaya about the project becomes should I talk? Now it's should I talk to Anaya about the project? With a questioning inflection. Again, the subject is now where the auxiliary was, and the auxiliary is now where the subject was. And finally, you could have been resting before the party becomes could you? The subject goes where the auxiliary was, and the auxiliary goes where the subject was. And that is how inversion works when you're using an auxiliary verb. Also, I just want to add, for emphasis here, take note that you have a lot of auxiliaries going on in this last sentence in particular, where it says could have been resting. So you have the modal could, and you have present perfect progressive, right? All surrounding the head verb of rest. But when we do inversion, we don't touch any of the rest of these auxiliaries, just the first. You identify that first auxiliary and invert it. Everything else stays exactly the same. Have been resting. Have been resting. You could have been resting. Could you have been resting?